Welcome to Megamind. I am Monica.
And I am David.
A quick reminder, please give us a like, hit the bell, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for being here and supporting us.
Right. Cup of tea in hand, Mike is behaving, and I have resisted the urge to tidy the cables for the 5th time. How are we feeling?
Ready, curious, slightly overcaffeinated, and determined not to go on a tangent within the first 30 seconds.
Bold claim. I give it a minute.
Challenge accepted. So today, we thought we would do a proper long chat. The kind where we actually sit with the stuff that makes life work, not life hack fluff. Real habits, little rituals, what to do when your brain wants to sprint straight into a wall.
And the wall wins.
The wall always wins, but you can learn to stop sprinting. Let's start with the lens we wear. I keep noticing how my mood edits reality. If I am scanning for the daft, everything looks daft. If I'm scanning for the generous, I catch people being kind all over the place.
It's like those days when you learn a new word and then it pops up everywhere. Confirmation engines in the wild. I used to think I was neutral. Turns out I was just unexamined.
Same. My mini practice lately is to write 2 columns when I judge something. Left side, strengths. Right side, risks. It sounds boring. It saves friendships.
Saves projects too. I did it with a bit of kit I was tempted to buy for the studio. Strengths column said shiny buttons and a knob that makes me feel like a pilot. Risks column said budget explosion and 3 evenings of swearing during setup. We stayed friends by not buying it.
Look at you, ruler of your appetites.
Ruler is generous. Slightly competent babysitter, perhaps. Speaking of appetites, can we talk about patience not being passivity? I always hated the idea of patience because I thought it meant standing still.
It is the harness, not the handbrake. I tried a tiny fast for my phone last week, left it on the hallway table for 1 whole hour. The number of times my hand twitched like it was summoning a small pet.
The phantom buzz, the ghost notification. It's like the device is ringing inside your soul.
Drama queen! But yes, after 10 minutes, the itch eased and I remembered I own a brain. Patience gave me back choice. That was the pleasant surprise.
Choice is the grown-up luxury, also cheaper than the shiny thing in the shop window. I once stood outside a camping store for 20 minutes, convincing myself I did not need a titanium spork.
You absolutely needed a titanium spork.
I absolutely did not. But the marketing spoke to the part of me that thinks I might be called upon to survive in the wilderness of my own kitchen.
Your kitchen is a wilderness. Right. Let's talk pleasure and meaning. I am pro-delight. I am anti-using delight as plaster over a void.
Pleasure. As a fine visitor, poor landlord. When I do something that matters during the day, the silly film at night becomes fun again. When I avoid the meaningful bit, the film has to carry the weight of my whole identity, which is unfair on the film and my poor sofa.
The sofa has seen things. My hack here is 1 purposeful act before lunch. It can be as ordinary as writing a proper thank you note. It changes the taste of the whole day.
I have a similar rule for calls I keep avoiding. Make the call before emails. I once delayed an apology call for a week. When I finally did it, the other person laughed because they had already moved on. I was the only one living in the drama.
Speaking of drama, courage. There is the noisy version, and then there's the durable version that looks like making the decent choice when you're tired.
Quiet courage. Doing the rep even when the mood is rubbish. I get weirdly proud of myself for those tiny acts. Not the grandstand moments, the boring ones. Taking the bins out in the rain and not performing the martyr groan.
I have heard the martyr groan.
There is a scale. On one end, stoic monk. On the other, pantomime hero sighing so loudly the neighbors applaud. I am trying to live closer to monk.
You are somewhere in the middle. And then there is anger management. You know that rule, pause, output? No emails in anger, no posts, no big decisions. Move your body, breathe, label the feeling, then speak when the temperature is normal.
The number of messages I've rescued from the abyss by leaving them in drafts is impressive. I opened one recently and the subject line was, in capital letters, absolutely not. Glad I did not send that.
In the moment, it always feels like now is the only time to act. 10 minutes later, the world is complicated again, and you can choose proportion over theater.
Proportion over theater is a good motto for the comment section too.
And for family group chats.
And for meetings that should have been emails.
Before we go too far, cost counting. People think it is unromantic to do numbers before a fight. I think it is smart. How much time, energy, reputation, and sleep will this take? What will it stop you doing instead?
Also, does the method make you smaller? That line is now tattooed on my calendar. If the tactic requires a lie, a quiet betrayal, or a late-night shame spiral, it is not strategy. It is a mess disguised as momentum.
Long game over headlines. This is true in work, in activism, and in parenting, especially in parenting.
Honor as a practical compass, not a ceremonial ribbon. I wish we taught that more. Quick wins that corrode trust cost compound interest later.
Since we are wandering, friendships. Wide circle for good manners, small circle for truth. I have stopped trying to be close to everyone, not because I am unfriendly, because hours are finite. Depth costs time.
Choosing your few is not hostility to the many. It is geometry. I have a little rule. If we can help each other move house, we're in the inner circle. If we only share cake, we are delightful acquaintances.
I will help you move house, but I will complain about your book boxes.
They are heavier because knowledge has weight.
That is not how physics works. But I appreciate the poetry. Right, mini story time. Tell them the bus story.
Yes. I once sat on a bus, rehearsing a very righteous speech to a friend who had annoyed me. I crafted the perfect paragraph. It had rhythm. It had bite. It had statistics. Then, the bus hit a pothole, my phone slipped, and the notes disappeared. I took it as a sign. When we met, I asked one question instead. The answer changed everything. Turns out they were having a week from the underworld. My grand speech would have been a paper sword.
This is why asking one good question is often better than launching a speech. Also why public transport is a philosopher.
Another tangent. Food debate time. Scone etiquette. Jam first or cream first?
Jam first for structural integrity. Anyone who says otherwise is courting collapse.
Strong words. I prefer to apply both evenly, like a software update that must not brick the device.
What are you on about?
I refuse to go to pastry war. I will, however, die on the hill of beans on toast being elite cuisine at certain hours.
Approved. While we are in the kitchen, let's talk patience again. People think discipline is a grim face. I think discipline is gentle. It is giving your future self a gift, like soaking oats the night before so morning you feels clever.
Future me has mixed feelings about past me. Sometimes gratitude, sometimes notes.
My favorite gentle discipline is the 5-minute tidy, not the heroic overhaul. Just 5 minutes of kindness to the room you live in. It sneaks up on you. After a week, the place feels different.
Speaking of sneaking, time is the one resource that never refills. I used to treat evenings as a fog. Then I did a time audit. Turns out my fog was oddly shaped like a rectangle of scrolling.
Wild coincidence. My fix was to pick 3 anchors for the day. One for health, one for work, one for a person I care about. If I hit those, the rest can be ordinary, and the day still feels honest.
I like the word honest for days. Some days feel clever, others feel exciting, but an honest day has a calm aftertaste.
We need to print that on a mug, but in a tasteful font, no motivational sparkle.
No sparkle, agreed. Also, one beauty moment on purpose. A short walk under trees, a song out loud in the kitchen, making the good tea and not the emergency dust.
Emergency dust is a crime. Okay, we promised silly arguments and random memory lanes. Here's one. Cereal first or milk first?
Cereal first. I'm not a chaos agent.
Correct answer. Shoe storage. Racks or baskets?
Racks. Baskets hide sins and create mystery lumps.
The way you said mystery lumps worries me. All right, meaningful detour. Hope. That works. Not the emoji kind, the professional kind. It needs a picture of better, a path of steps, and the belief your team can take those steps.
I run a weekly hope audit. Is the goal clear? What is the next visible step? Do we have the skills? If not, what is missing and how fast can we learn? It sounds corporate. It saves creative projects from becoming wistful prose poems.
Wistful prose poems have their place, not as project plans. And when the facts change, the plan changes. That line saves me from turning adaptation into melodrama.
Yes, the story is not, I failed. The story is, we learned and pivoted because we can read.
Learning includes apologizing. I think we need more quick apologies in the world. A short, sorry given early is worth 3 essays later.
The 3 essays are usually written at 2 in the morning with dramatic punctuation.
No punctuation is scarier than late-night punctuation. Right, a little middle reminder for the good people at home. Remember to share and subscribe. Thank you.
Lovely. Let's talk mercy for yourself and standards for your actions. People confuse the two. When you mess up, you are still worthy of kindness, and you still tell the truth about the mess.
I use a tiny weekly review. One thing I did well, one thing to repair, one first step for next week. It keeps me moving without turning me into a statue attempting perfection.
Statues do not do the washing up. People do. I am also trying the daylight test. If I had to explain my method to a child, would I blush? If yes, pick another method.
That test stops a lot of cunning that would have become regret. Also, quick note on public life. Calm firmness rarely trends, but it builds things that last. Refuse contempt, enforce boundaries, then get back to building.
Contempt is the sugar rush of argument. Feels powerful, leaves you shaky. Clean strength is quieter. You know who has this power? Older neighbors who keep communities sane without a website.
The auntie who knows everyone's name at the shop. The coach who turns up week after week. Heroes without hashtags.
Speaking of showing up, relationships need rituals. Turning up when someone moves house, dropping soup when they are ill, telling the truth before the world tells them without kindness.
Especially that last one. The friend who says, hey, you may be off course and I love you enough to risk saying it. That is friendship with a spine.
And we give the same back, or we are customers of affection rather than friends.
Let's dip into love. Not the film version only. Love as education of the heart, turning raw attraction into steady care and loyalty, warmth and boundaries, mischief and promises, laughter and repair.
I like the word repair. There is a myth that good relationships are conflict-free. I think good relationships are repair-rich. You learn the apology dance and the listening face and the humor that loosens knots.
The listening face is crucial. Mine used to look like I was decoding a spy message. Now it looks like I am actually listening. Progress.
Right. Tiny story. I once tried to fix a problem in my family by bringing a spreadsheet to a Sunday lunch. Reader, this did not go well. I have since learned that sometimes the correct tool is tea and a biscuit, not a cell formula.
The cell formula has its place. Not near the gravy. That incident aside, planning matters. Trying matters. But grit alone cannot bend the universe. Logistics, timing, other people's choices. The trick is to combine boldness with humility and an exit plan in your pocket.
The exit plan is not defeatist, it is responsible. If the facts say stop, you stop. That frees you to try with courage because you are not gluing your identity to one route.
Can we talk about tiny fasts again? I love them. Delay one impulse, not to prove you are hardcore, to prove to your own body that you can wait. It makes stronger joys possible.
It also turns treats back into treats. When treats have a day job as therapy, everything gets muddy.
Perfectly put. Now, mini mischief segment, rapid fire questions. Ketchup in the fridge or the cupboard?
Cupboard. I do not wish to be judged.
You will be judged anyway. Toothpaste squeezers, middle or end?
End. Anything else is anarchy.
Running shoes, bright colors or stealth black?
Stealth black. I am already running. I do not need to look like a traffic cone.
Traffic cones are valiant civil servants. Speaking of service, a word on honor and reputation. Doing clean work is like building a credit history with people. When you need a favor, your past behavior writes the letter.
And when you mess up, the same history buys you patience. It is not only moral, it is mathematically useful. Fewer fires to put out, more hours to build.
Fewer fires is a lifestyle. Here's a cozy routine that helps. 5 quiet minutes in the morning to remember that time is real. 1 intention sentence. Act your part well today. Then 3 anchors. Health, work, person. It's tiny. It is enough.
Evening version. 3 questions. What did I do that was good? What needs repair? What is the first small step for tomorrow? Then 1 beauty moment, a song, a page of a book, looking at the sky through a window and not naming any shapes.
Not naming shapes is hard. My brain wants to point and say duck or dragon or suspicious cloud.
Suspicious Cloud is my band name. Right, another tangent. Public transport etiquette. Standing on the correct side of the escalator is civilization. Blocking the walking lane is an act of mild treason.
The day I discovered the joy of letting someone merge in traffic without doing the performative glare, my blood pressure dropped by a tiny but detectable amount.
Micro mercies. The city runs on them. holding doors, returning trolleys, saying thank you to the person who cleans the loos. It's how we stitch the fabric.
It also changes your own internal weather. Being kind is strangely efficient.
Here's a slightly ridiculous confession. I keep a small notebook titled Operations Manual for Ordinary Days. It has reminders like eat vegetables and call your mother and move your limbs.
You are adorable. Does it also say, do not buy a titanium spork?
It does now.
In all this, there is one theme. Act well in the pages you have. We cannot control length. We can control tone. We get to choose whether we become people who can be trusted when everyone is tired.
Speaking of tired, what do you do when the afternoon slump arrives and your brain declares a strike?
3 breaths with a longer exhale, a glass of water, one very small task. The task is usually so small it feels silly. Send the one-line email. Wipe the desk. The engine turns over again.
Mine is the 7-minute walk, not 8, 7. If I say 7, my brain accepts it. If I say 20, my brain negotiates until the cows come home.
Your brain is a tiny union rep. I respect it. Another tool I love is the label game. When the mood is tangled, I write 3 words that honestly describe it. Tired, brittle, impatient. The tangle stops pretending to be fate.
Names give handles. Once I know I am brittle, I can take myself less seriously and avoid delicate operations like sending feedback to colleagues.
That is a public service. Oh, and on feedback, speak plainly when calm. Name the behavior, describe the effect, propose a change. No identity labels, no mind reading. It keeps rooms safe for improvement.
It is wild how much better that works than sarcasm. Sarcasm is a punchline that forgets to solve the problem.
And yet we are both fluent, recovering sarcasm users.
Hello, my name is David, and I make jokes when nervous.
Hi, David.
Right, more random tangents as requested. Favorite biscuit for dunking?
Rich tea. It is the Olympic diver of biscuits. Elegant entry, no splash.
Controversial. I go for the sturdy oat number. It has backbone, it laughs at hot liquids.
More evidence that your kitchen is a wilderness. Favorite sound in a quiet house?
Kettle finishing the little rumble. It means something comforting is about to happen. You?
Pages turning. Or the tiny feet of a neighbor's cat visiting the windowsill like it owns the place.
Cats do own the place. We pay rent to cats. Everyone knows this.
Earlier you hinted at spreadsheets at lunch. I have a parallel story. I tried to fix a family tension with a group calendar invite titled Conversation. No one accepted. I learned to try again with tea and a soft opening question.
Nothing says let's be human like an Outlook rectangle. We live and learn.
Learning includes deleting a draft before it escalates. I once wrote a heroic paragraph in a message to a friend who canceled plans. Read it back, laughed at my own theater, deleted. Sent 3 words instead. Are you okay? Turns out they were not. And my theater would have become a costume I would regret.
You are generous when you are not hungry.
Feeding the gremlin prevents many tragedies. We're not as complicated as we pretend.
Another mini ritual. Keep tasks out of your head. The brain is not a warehouse. It is a workshop. Offload lists to paper and let the mind make things instead of storing boxes.
Works for worries, too. Write them down, label what you can act on, give the rest a parking space. Anxiety loves vagueness. Specifics make it sleepy.
Can we do one more food debate because my soul demands it? Chips at the seaside. Vinegar enthusiast or cautious drizzle?
Enthusiast. Let the seagulls judge.
The seagulls judge everyone, equal opportunity critics.
Final lap. What do we tell folks who feel late to the good life party? My take? You are not late. You are at the door that is open now. Start small. Pick the next right action, not the perfect plan.
And recruit one person for your inner circle who will tell you the truth and celebrate your tiny wins. The combination is magic. Celebration and correction. Cake and coach.
Cake and coach needs to be a show. We could do episodes where we taste a cake and solve a dilemma.
This is an excellent idea that must be explored with spreadsheets at lunch.
You will not bring spreadsheets near cake, but yes, I like the plan. All right, last practical bundle for the road. Morning intention. 3 anchors, 1 beauty moment. Pause output in anger. Speak plainly when calm. Be kind to many, loyal to a few. Count costs before you charge. Choose methods you can explain to a child without blushing. Try, learn, adapt. Give yourself mercy, hold standards for your actions.
And remember that ordinary days are where the story happens. Fame is optional. Soundness is the goal. Be the person who keeps their word and waters the plants.
I killed a plant last month.
We grieve in community.
I bought a cactus. It is judging me from the windowsill.
The cactus is chair of the Residents Association. Do not cross it.
On that note, thank you for spending time with us. If something in this long ramble gave you a nudge, write it down now. A nudge evaporates if you don't catch it.
And if you try a tiny fast, or the 3 anchors, or the weekly review, tell us how it went. We love hearing which tools fit different lives.
Right. Closing time. Drop your comments below and subscribe to our channel. David and Monica are personas we use to make our content more engaging and relatable. We're not affiliated with any organization or product mentioned. Our discussions are just for inspiration and entertainment, not professional advice. Always think for yourself, take what works for you, and make your own decisions. See you next time.